सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते। As we saw last time, the opening statement is a vow, pratigna, as to what I am going to teach, for whom am I going to teach, what is the purpose, the end that is to be achieved by this teaching, and how the end and the teachings are connected. We call it as Anubandha Chatushtayam. He says, Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna Adhikarinam Moksha Sadhana Bhutam Tattva Viveka Prakaram Vakshyamaha. We had discussed this sentence in detail in the last class. Now, there is a problem of self-ignorance. Whole pursuit is of self-discovery. The very word self indicates it is nitya prapta. It is always with you. And when it is always with me and still I am looking for it, it implies there is a problem of ignorance. Now, this ignorance, any kind of ignorance, can be removed through proper means of knowledge. Technically called as pramanam. Pramanam means prama-karanam pramanam. Prama means in English we say knowledge, but in Sanskrit there is a very elaborate definition. Asandigdam abaditam gnanam prama. It qualifies the knowledge. That knowledge which is free from any doubts and any error. What we call it in our Shastric jargon as samshaya viparyaya rahitam gnanam prama. So the means of knowledge gives, the pramanam gives that kind of knowledge. Like last time I said, this fluorescent pen in my hand, highlighter, that when you see it, it is yellow. That it is yellow, there is no doubt. And that it is yellow, you will never make mistake in future of taking it pink or green or red or blue. It is yellow for good. Abaditam. This knowledge can never be negated. Abadita means non-negatable, free from doubts and not subject to correction, not subject to negation. That is called prama. Now, the object of knowledge decides the means of knowledge. When the object to be known, when you want to know the color, when you want to know the form, it compels you. It decides that you have to know it through eyes. And the pramana or the means of knowledge is something which cannot be challenged. It is the pramana, which need not be verified by other means. Eye says it is yellow, you need not rub it to your ears to verify whether it is yellow or not. Pramana in itself is a means of knowledge. Now here, The self is to be known. So it dictates what can be means of knowledge. The me, what it is, fact that it is nitya prapta. Self means me, I, the one who operates these five means of perception: ears, nose, eyes, skin, etc. The very subject. The subject I being the subject implies I cannot be known through any of these five means of perception. Because I, as though, enlighten them. I, as though, bring them to work. They work because I am there. They can see the object. They can reveal their respective object only when they are backed by me. You know, we often see this or experience when person is sitting in front of us, or maybe somewhere here, right across us, and you say something that person does not hear. Ears are there, but the ears are not backed by the person. Person is somewhere else. Eyes don't see. Across the road there is a friend and you keep waving the hand and doesn't see. Eyes can reveal the form and a color only when they are backed by. I being the subject cannot be revealed by the eyes. So these five means of knowledge, perception, etc. cannot reveal the self, much less all other five pramanas, anumana, arthapatti, anupalabdhi, etc. cannot reveal the self because they are based on perception. So what is a pramanam? What is the means to know the self? Somebody when can say, no, I will see the self in meditation. Mind is also means it operated by me. Mind can feel, mind can know, mind can understand, mind can infer, mind can postulate all that only when I am backing it. When I go to sleep, mind doesn't back it up. Or when I'm lost in something, I don't feel the emotions, I don't feel the hurt, etc. So, through meditation also, if the self is revealed, then the question comes, who is the self who sees that self? There are no two selves. There is only one individual. There is only one non-dual consciousness. And the consciousness being formless cannot be revealed by the mind. The means is the words, shabda is a pramana. Apta vakya, the words of a wise man. What kind of words will work? How words can work here? Generally, words will give an indirect knowledge, and that's something you can say it's a belief which is subject to verification. Like even for those of you who have not been to ashram, and I keep describing my ashram, I keep describing the cows, I keep describing how the puja is performed, etc. They all give indirect knowledge. That knowledge is subject to verification. Words can create an imaginary picture in the mind of a person, which may or may not be true. And even if it is true, it is always partially true, however vivid the description may be. So, how can the words reveal the self? That is a peculiar situation. Our famous example of Tvam Dashamosi, you are the 10th man, the story. Or like Karna, who, this is where you have, you know, sadhana chatushta sampanna adhikarinam moksha tattva viveka prakar. Discriminative inquiry. You require a discrimination. The ignorance with reference to self is a unique. It is not like my being ignorant about Russian language or my being ignorant about Mexican language or country Mexico. There is non-apprehension based misapprehension. There is a conclusion that I am this. No one says I don't know myself. And that conclusion that I am so and so, son of so and so, brother of so and so, mother of so and so, and emotionally happy, unhappy, cognitively I'm this doctor, this, etc., engineer, consultant, blah, blah, blah. And this conclusion is confounded conclusion. So it is not simple words, exactly like Karna. He didn't know who he was. He concluded him to be what he was not. And what he took himself to be son of Radha, Radheya Hamasmi, whereas he was Kaunteya. To tell him this when Kunti went to tell him, reveal this, or to tell him this when Krishna went, he had to build up the context. Look, this was a situation, this is how it happened. Kunti invoked Surya Devata and he gave her a child, and then out of fear for the society, and she abandoned you and put it this way. Whole story has to be told. Context has to be built up. Then Kunti or Krishna, Lord Krishna has to say, Natvam Radheya, Tvam to count. So that is called Aptavakya. You require a proper teacher who can build up the context. Otherwise, when it is told to Karna, hey Karna, you are not Radhe or Kunt Kaute, he may think, what are you talking about? How do you know? He may think the other person is just blabbering out. Similarly, you tell just a Westerner who has not any exposure to Indian culture. It's a blessing that you grow here in India and you have heard the word Sachidananda, Atmananda, Paramatmananda, etc., etc. Of course, not this Paramatmananda, original Paramatmananda you hear, but then some Paramatma you heard, something here and there. Then an absolute Norwegian guy, and you say, hey, you are a Brahman, you are Purna, you are Anand, he laugh at you. You have to build the context. That is why Aptavakya is necessary. A proper teacher to unfold, build a context, and then tell Tat Tvam Asi. Then the knowledge takes place. Now, this discussion will come later in some other text. This is enough for now. What I'm trying to come to the word sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. The nature of the knowledge is, it is, as I said, two things, samshaya viparyaya rahit. When you have a appropriate pramana, proper and competent pramana, object of knowledge is there, the operator, the seer is there, knowledge will take place immediately. That's the nature. Knowledge, karma may have a vyavadhana, may have some time gap. What you know and then you take karma later. But then knowledge is right there and there when you operate the means of knowledge. Therefore, unknowingly also, you pick up some smell, especially for you American people. I have experienced, I had been hearing from Puja Swamiji, but I had a direct experience of this and I went into direct samadhi. I did not require Ramdev. The conch in Chicago. The conch emits the smell. My God. It was so horrible, that blue cheese, and worse smell than that. We were discussing in the car, talking some question answers, and suddenly, I mean, Indian gutters smell less filthy. Bombay Dharavi maybe not even may not be like that. I had that experience. I picked up. I didn't want it. I have no choice. Knowledge is choiceless. If you operate, if the nose is open, I don't have a cold, and the conch is around, it is choiceless. If you are not writing your notes, and if you look at me in the screen, and I'm showing this pen, you have no choice but to see me. You have no choice but to see this pen, and you have no choice but to see it as yellow. And it is now. Not that after 15 minutes you say, hey, Swamiji, it was showing something, it was yellow. No. The tubelite Nyaya, those olden tube lights, it takes time to see. To understand the meaning may take time, but you recognize. You may not identify that color, but that you see that color is immediate. So also, when person is studying from a competent teacher, the teacher who himself knows what he or she is talking about, he means what the words are loaded with his own appreciation or identification with the self. And the teacher is competent in handling the words, is competent in building the context, competent in understanding the capabilities of the students. When a student asks a question, it is not the question that is to be answered, the questioner to be answered. All the teacher understands. There is a student who is wanting to learn, wants moksha. That means the person who wants to know is there. Object to be known is nitya prapta, self is always there. Proper teacher is there. Still knowledge doesn't take place because it's okay. You just study. Deepak, forget it. I'm not disturbed by that. There is a secondary obstacle. What is secondary obstacle? Knowledge has to take place in mind. And that mind should be mature. And maturity means one has to change cognitively and emotionally mature. Cognitively means one need to see certain realities, certain facts. And when I said emotionally matured means one should be a deliberate person, not an instinctual person. One should be able to handle and manage one's own emotions and live a factual life. The emotion may not be that powerful to hijack his or her own wisdom. But sense, I know people tell me, Swamiji, I'm worrying too much. Then I just stare at that guy. And the person will say, I know I should not worry, but that is immature. Swamiji, I know I should not get angry, but this all but business is emotionally mature. So that is technically called as sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. As I said, proper cognitive change and emotive change. It is called sadhana chatushtaya. That we had discussed quite in length, and again I repeat it. Now the question comes, what is the fourfold means for self-knowledge? What are the qualifications that are necessary for gaining the self-knowledge? Then there is a list given. I will just chant it. I know you are on mute, but you repeat with me. I mean, I don't repeat after me. You join me in saying this. One second. This text, as I said, is in a dialogue form. Though it is not mentioned, student asked and teacher replied. But from the formation of a sentence, you can understand this is a question and this is an answer. It obviously implies this is asked by a student and this is replied by teacher. Sadhana chatushtayam kim. The question is, the translation is sadhana chatushtayam, means fourfold qualifications. Kim, what are they? What are the fourfold qualifications? In other words, what are the fourfold means of knowledge? And you have to add one adjective to the means. What are the fourfold secondary means for knowledge? As I said, means of knowledge is pramanam. But for pramana to give rise to immediate knowledge free from doubts and error, you should be relatively prepared. Mind should be prepared in terms of cognitive and attitudinal change. What are those things which brings about this this twofold change? Or how does this change expresses in a person, one who enjoys, one who is endowed with this kind of maturity? What is his or her attitude? What is his or her appreciation of the life and the reality that he enumerates? He just gives teacher, first of all, just gives the list, and thereafter, one by one, it is enumerated. We will see those fourfold qualities one by one. The first is, look at the text. So student asked, Sadhana Chatushtayam Kim. What is the fourfold means of knowledge? The teacher says, Nitya Nitya Vastu Vivekaha. The first thing he says, Vivekaha. What is Viveka? Again, here whenever there is a Viveka used, you have to translate in English as discriminative appreciation, discriminative knowledge of what? The Nitya Anitya Vastu. Difference between what is Nitya and what is Anitya. Okay? To begin with, the student himself or herself doesn't know what is Nitya. Please understand. He doesn't know. And not know what is to be understood and known. Here, Viveka is what is Anitya, that is to be seen. We'll see this in detail. In other words, Viveka means clarity of about what exactly that I want. As of now, there is no clarity. Then Viveka means one gains necessary clarity about what is it that I am seeking. What is it that is the bottom line of all my pursuits? Or at least one thing we can see, I want Nityam. And then what is it other that we have to see later? What is Viraga? Second one is, first he said, Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha. Second is, Iha Amutra Arthaphala Bhoga Viraga. So, Viraga in English is translated as dispassion. You need to understand some Sanskrit. Viraga, the prefix V, it adds to the meaning of the word, but then different addition takes place. Sometimes V means it is better or value addition about the object. You know, akrantaha, vikrantaha, or sometimes opposite. Hara means to take away. Then if you had to say vihara, it means to go around. Different meaning. Here is V means absence of, freedom from raga. Okay. From what? He says, bhoga viraga. Which bhoga? Phala bhoga viraga. Bhoga means to experience, to enjoy. What? Artha phala bhoga viraga. Means what? Dispassion for enjoying the objects. Which objects? That which you gain as an end result of an action, as a pursuit. You pursue, you work for it, something which are the fruits of, phalam means fruits. In Gujarati, karma phalam. In Hindi, in Sanskrit, we say the karma phala. Now, here I can add this also. Not only karma phala artheshu viraga, imagined artheshu api viraga. People imagine the situation and brooding over good things. That is also viraga. Of course, when the external viraga is there, internal viraga will take place. When the mind is free from a desire to enjoy the objects outside, mentally created objects, desire to enjoy and brood over those happy moments will be gone. But it's okay, leave it now. That. So, which kind of objects? Iha amutrascha. the objects here and hereafter. Traditionally, here means what are available in Bhuloka in a contemporary time. In those days, they had their own, they might have desired for horses, might have desired for bullock cart, might have desired for a king's palace, but I'm sure they never desired for iPhone 10, iPhone X, or never desired for Mercedes. So you have to add this contemporary objects of pleasure available here. And hereafter means what the objects about which I have heard, I've come to know. In those days, traditionally, the objects of heaven, all the description, heavenly description about the dance and music and apsaras and etc., whatever they have heard, Gandharva Loka, Kindarloka, etc., Devaloka, etc., Lokas. And in modern context, you can say Viraga here and for America also, for Switzerland also. You can say Viraga for vacation to Dubai shopping mall also, going to Singapore also. All these objects, going to this Honolulu, Hawaii also, anything you have heard about it, anything that you have seen about it, objects about seen here and hereafter. Bhoga, Ichha, Viraga. Then what is next? So, Viraga means a freedom. What kind of freedom? That this will release me, this will please me hereafter, this will solve my problem of unhappiness, etc. That is Viraga. Then comes Samadhi Shakya Sampatti. Sixfold wealth he is talking. And Shatka Sampatti means sixfold wealth. And beginning from Shama, therefore it is a Samadhi. Shama, etc., sixfold wealth. This is a group of six things that is called Samadhi. In other words, mental composure. In other words, a together person. In other words, the person free from, relatively free from hurts and guilts and sense of achievements and pressure to do and pressure of past nothing. The one who can live in present, that is Shama. We'll see each one in detail. As of now, teacher is just giving the list of the things to come. Then says Mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam means this is, the word is moksha. Moksha means freedom, not salvation. Moksha is freedom. Mumukshu, one who is committed to freedom. Okay? And the state of that mind, state of mind of that person who is a mumukshu, it is called mumuksuta. And the status is called mumukshutva. Understand? Status of being a mumukshu is called mumukshutva. The frame of mind that I want this as the end, moksha is the end, that is a person is a mumukshu. These are sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. In fact, that itself is called wealth. You see, let me take this opportunity to talk something about wealth also. Of course, this is Diwali message, as I promised you last time I'll give you, before I get into detailed discussion about sadhana chatushtaya. You see, on Dhanteras, this Trayodashi, we do Lakshmi Puja. And there is a universal, almost universal means Indian universal. My universal word is confined to Indians. There is a Lakshmi means wealth, and wealth means money, property, etc. is considered to be Lakshmi. Please understand, that's not the meaning of Lakshmi. It is a meaning. I agree with you. See, this is why we do on Dhanteras. That was a day when Lakshmi ji came out of the churning of an ocean, Samudra Manthan. She manifested. Lakshmi ji pragat hue. That was a day. Now see the background story. Yeah, all of you know, so I'll just summarize in nutshell. Indra was there in heaven passing by on his Airavat, and the Durvasha Rishi came by, and he had come directly from Vaikuntha, and Krishna, Lord Narayana had given his Vaijanti Mala to Durvasa as a prasada, and just out of sheer love and compassion, he gave it to Indra. This out of mother, whatever may be, eyes of mother or in his oblivious nature. Some may be thought, some may, whatever. He gave it to elephant, and his Airavat elephant threw up and crushed it, which hurted Durvasa. And he cursed him. May you be without Shri. Shri Hino Bhava. So you lose the Shri. In Bhagavad Ji, this is we have to see through properly. People just gloss over. Bhagavad Ji, when the churning things coming after one by one, it started. Kamadhenu, Vairava, Ducheshrava, etc. When we say Lakshmi Ji pragat hue, no. The word is Shri Devi. She is called Shri Devi. The mention also is that he became Shri Hina. If Shri meant only the wealth, Indra should have lost the heaven. He didn't lose it. He continued to be the king of heaven. If Shri meant, I will repeat, if only wealth, and as a curse, he became Shri Hina. That is also mentioned in Bhagavad. He became Shri Hina. And if he's Shri Hina, then how can he be the owner of the heaven? How can be the king of the heaven? How can be the king of devas if it meant money and power only? And it doesn't say Lakshmi Devi came out. Shri came out. Okay? And then Shri is a beautiful descriptions. She came directly with Varmala. And then she was so enchanting and soothing to all the devatas and danavas. Everybody stretched their neck, This spondylitis problem was not there momentarily. Like belt head, this is a description in Bhagavad. She may garland me and all. And there is a Bhagavatkara enumerates a thinking. Lakshmi looks at somebody and then rejects. Other one she rejects. Why she rejected? There is when it mentioned. She found there was a great tapasvi person, but he was an angry person. She found somebody very dharmanishtaha, but there was an ego. So there was some dosha here and there. And all were stretching the neck. Narayana went away and slept. He just relaxed. As though he's not interested in. Of course, he was interested, but he was for sure that she will come to me. That's all it is. That's a tatparya. Not that he was not interested. They are avibhajya. It is not Shiva and Parvati are Ardha Narishwara. They are also same. We have to understand the concept of Devi, which we will see in Upanishad. So then she garlanded him and said he has no that kind of mental blemish of arrogance or ego or anger or haughtiness, nothing. And Narayana is full of Shri. So Shri went, Narayana is called Sattva. Sattva means Sattvat Sanjayate, composed mind. So Shri means Sukham. Shri means Prasannata, relative cheerfulness, relative inner relaxation, relative sense of at homeness. Now you understand? People may have money, but they are not at home with themselves. People may have power, but they are not relaxed within themselves. There is some pressure of the past, pressure of futuristic ambitions, pressure of the present of some friends and colleagues and all kinds of things. To own up the riches, the wealth and the money, you require some psychological infrastructure. To enjoy the Vishaya, you need a mind. That is Shri. That is Sampatti. That is wealth. The attitudes, certain understanding about the truths, Vyavaharik Satyam. Forget about Paramathik. That is a wealth. So this sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadamadi, Mumukshu is a wealth. people say, people think, oh, Vairagya means very dull life. He is the most cheerful guy. People think, oh, Vairagya ho gaya, sab chhod diya, zindagi mein kya rakha? People are frightened. I've seen young boys and girls telling me, Swamiji, I don't want Vairagya, I'm frightened. I want to enjoy and be happy. This is something senseless talk. You will be better be happy with this person. But anyway, they don't know what is Vairagya. They don't know Vivek. So also Samadhi, Shatka Sampatti, that is a wealth. My Diwali message is, may you have Shri. Okay? May Shri Devi reside in you. And she goes where there is Narayan. Narayana is called what, you know? Sakala Kalyana Guna Gana. Vaishnavas use this often, especially in the south. He is full of all gunas, all sattva. So may you enjoy that mind and may you have Shri for the year to come. And that Shri is there with you on a newer day. You are relaxed, relatively. You are cheerful. You are accepting. Whole attitude is changed. So may the year to come. And then, as I said, to be cheerful, you need certain clarity about the realities. You need a mind which is together. You need to learn to handle your own emotions and be emotionally matured person. And for that, you need to study. So my blessing is, may you attend my classes. May you be regular. I am sure all of you want to be regular. So my blessings and prayer for you is, may the external condition, the life, accommodate you in such a way that you have this slot, Sunday evening or whatever time, for yourself, for owning up the Shri. And when you have Shri, Narayana will come. May there be Narayana with you all the time. That's a blessing. Namaste. Now we'll continue with this Viveka. See the next one. What is Viveka? There is a question and there is an answer. Nitya. See, open the book. You will find that Sanskrit text. Nitya, Nitya Vastu Viveka Kaha. Teacher said, fourfold qualification. First is Viveka. And he says, Nitya, Nitya Vastu Viveka. That is a Viveka. The student asks, what is that? Kaha means what? What is Nitya, Anitya Vastu Viveka? The answer is, Nityam Vastu Ekam Tadanyat Sarvam Anityam. Sorry, Tadvyat, there is a word Tadvyat, my text is different. Tadvyatiriktam Sarvam Anityam Ayameva Nitya Vastu Vivekaha. Ekam Vastu Nityam. Nityam Vastu Ekam. There is only one thing which is Nityam. Okay? Okay. Then, one thing is Nityam. Yes, Nityam means, again, you should please note the translation. Nityam doesn't mean timeless. Nityam doesn't mean eternal. Nityam means, long lasting. Nityam means which is free from time or which is beyond time. Okay? Kalasya pi kala. That is why Shivji is called Mahakala. Mahakala doesn't mean Shivji lives ever. No, 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 no. He gives birth to Kala. That is Nityam. That is Nityam is only one And here we can add, since most of you have background of studying Vedanta, what is that one? Brahman. Brahman is the only Nishtavastu. Tat Vyatiriktam. Vyatiriktam means distinct. Vyatiriktam means different. Vyatiriktam means not other than, other than that. Other than Brahman, everything or distinct, both meanings are applicable. We will see when we'll discuss about Brahman. Other than that, everything is anityam. Anityam means time bound. Okay, this is Viveka. Now, please understand what does it mean by Viveka. See, first of all, just in a simple language, human heart seeks everything, whatever he or she seeks, he or she wants it as nitya. You know, when you buy something, like you build a house, nobody wants that the house should collapse in 6 months or 1 year. First of all, I should be nitya. I don't want to die. And whatever things that I have, whatever relations that I have, whatever situation external that I have, vastu, vyakti, objects, people, and the situation that I have in my comfort zone, I want them for good. I always want, if as a married person, that spouse should be always loving to me, that we should be same as we were before or whatever it is. When I have a car, I should have that nityam. That is first thing. That means I seek nityam by restructuring the surroundings around. True, at this moment I have this and I think this is my comfort zone. But after some time I restructure. But then what I want is permanent. Now, this is one meaning. Second meaning, just look at this. The basic urge of a human heart, as you call it, as a bottom line of all pursuits, all relationships, all possessions, all situations, or all places I go around is only two things. I seek, this is universal, okay? That is why with a very this is the beauty of the richness of the Veda is very clearly stated in our Vedas. Human being seeks security and comfort or pleasure. I want to be free from being insecure. I want to be free from being insufficient or unhappy. Now, with reference to this, what I look for, what I want, what I pursue is called Purushartha. Purushaihi arthyate prarthyate iti purusha. In the Shastra, Purushaha doesn't mean men or women, okay? Though translation is men, but Purusha is used for Ishvara also. Purusha is used for Maya also. You know, Dvavimau Purusha is used for world also. Kshara evacha, Kshara Purusha, Akshara Purusha, Uttama Purusha. And Purusha is used for Jiva also, an individual. Here, the Purusha in this context is individual, a person, not man or woman. So the Purushartha, Purushahi arthyate doesn't mean only men seek, not women. Okay? Not injustice to women also. Both, any individual pursues what an individual wants is Purushartha. There are many and varied and endless, depending upon person to person, time to time, etc. But all our pursuits are categorized in four categories. It's, as you must have heard, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Just keep aside dharma, we'll deal as a different order. We'll start with artha. Artha means, again, artha doesn't mean money. Here, artha means security. There is a pursuit of security. First, artha purushartha. Kama means a pursuit to be happy or to have in a pleasurable, comfortable situation. That's the second pursuit. Then comes dharma and then moksha. Though it is said for purushartha, actually it is only one purushartha. The clarity that there is only one purushartha that I am seeking, that is moksha, that is vivek. Please understand. The confusion with reference to Atma Anatma is there. We saw this. With confusion with reference to self and non-self is there. To remove that confusion, you require a discriminative inquiry, unfolding what is the self and what is not self, Atma Anatma Vivek. That is okay. But there is a confusion about the pursuit, the goal of life. So original confusion is Atma Anatma Viveka, Aviveka. And the secondary is Purushartha Aviveka. So it is like our Garba, Mataji ki Aarti. They say, Kankavati Nagari, Ma Manchavati Nagari, Ma Champavati Nagari. It is three Nagaris that talk. There is a confusion of Atma, then there is a confusion in Purushartha, and in given Purushartha also there is confusion. Confusion may be confusion. Hai. That is the point. Let us see how. See, look at this. Though I said, though I said you seek security, it is not security. Human heart is seeking freedom from being unsecure. When you feel insecure, therefore you seek crutches. Crutches, in a civilized society, I seek clothes. That's fine. Like that, I don't seek crutches. That we want to wear the clothes is universal thing because it's civilized society. But that only few want crutches. Forget about the crutches. A stick. Who will opt for a stick? The person who feels insecure on his or her own two legs. There is a possibility of falling. I feel insecure while climbing or getting down. People will hold the hand suddenly of the neighbor. Otherwise, they will not touch anybody. Will hold it because there is an insecurity. So basically, human heart seeks freedom from being insecure. That is the first confusion. That I seek security. No, you seek insecurity, freedom from insecurity. Now that I seek insecurity where? That is the aviveka, confusion. Therefore, I say in a given purushartha also there is a confusion. There is a confusion with reference to the purushartha. There is first of all confusion with reference to self, confusion with reference to purushartha nishchaya, and confusion with reference to given purushartha. Think that money will give security. That human heart feels insecure is justifiable. I can say it is natural. And some of you heard Swamiji and you know this. I am born as most incapable person, helpless person. helpless enough so much that I can't turn around, helpless that I can't get up. I need mom's finger to hold on, to get up from the bed. I need the fingers to sit, some back support. Then onwards, physically, psychologically, cognitively, in whichever way, I being limited, I seek security is natural. I feel insecure is natural. Baby feels so much of insecure. That's why holds on to mom, holds on to dad. That, and some of them feel so insecure that at night they want sari. They want mommy to be physically there. Insecurity. It's okay. Look at this. Baby seeks security in mom. She herself is insecure and seeks security in husband. You just need a cockroach. Her secure thing is gone. I had, I had one student of mine in Ahmedabad. She was, I'm talking about, it was in somewhere 30 years ago when I was taking class there. She was a manager in State Bank. That time there was women empowerment policy, United Nations, and India adopted the resolution, and this was going on. So there was a women branch of State Bank of India. And that was a period when Khalistanis were looting the banks, to get money and all that. So that day I asked, see, we got late and then a couple of times. And then third time I asked him, why are you getting late in the class? And he looked stressed. And what's the problem? He says, Swamiji, baat chhod do. They have got input, police, that these terrorists are going to come and loot a bank. And they have clear input, they are going to loot a state bank. And ours being a women's branch, they're all security. They screen you and let you in. And I, being a manager, I cannot leave till those guys leave, and then all kinds of problems. I said, what do they screen? I said, there is a metal detector, and like airport massage. You get a massage in the airport, soft massage, Thai massage, free of cost. But so they give it massage and all. I said, they look for only metal? Yes. I said, they are foolish. If I were a terrorist, I will come without a gun. To loot a state bank, I should just come with few lizards and cockroaches and let them free. They will jump on the street. You don't need to do anything. No gun is required. On a cashier counter, put a lizard. Even a plastic lizard is enough. Good looking lizard, a little costly plastic. Or just carry some cockroach and let loose the cockroach and say, give me the vault key. She will just give you the key. I said, why? They tell your security guys to look for cockroaches and lizards also. And your lighter side aside. The child sees security in mother. Grown-up person sees security in money. The other one seeks in family, connections, position. Power is also security. In fact, the group, the belonging to a given group, a club, or even a religious group, they make you feel that you are exclusive and you will be the saved one. You are the privileged one. That's security. Hereafter, free that I feel insecure is legitimate, and the means which I look up to be free from insecurity, there one needs to think over. If some amount of money, X amount of money, were to provide security, how come people having much more than that feel insecure? Forget about that. And how come every time this urge remains same like a carrot in the front of cart? I thought if I have X amount of money, I will be secured. Once I owned up that much, then my bar shifted further. There I found myself to be insecure. I took a new target. Then again the same story. Again the same story. And that is everywhere. That clarity. No? Parikshalokan karmachitan nasti akrutah krite. In spite of possessions, in terms of wealth, in terms of metal, in terms of property, in terms of liquid assets, in terms of connections, in terms of power, anything, nothing can make me feel secure. I still continue to remain insecure, and this is bugging me. That is freedom from insecure. Pleasure, karma. It is not that the pleasure we seek freedom from being in a state of unpleasant self. I find myself to be very unpleasant in a situation. I find myself to be unhappy. I don't seek happiness per se, I'm seeking freedom from being unhappy. And that thing, that sense of insecurity, the sense that I'm unhappy, the sense that I'm incomplete, insufficient, is boggling me like, as they say, it is like holding on to hot potato. Ekadashi Faral, nobody wants to hold on. Or the better example is you eat on a monsoon, typical Guju example, okay? On a monsoon day, very light drizzle is there, and you are mentally relatively little free, and you have external time, inner leisure and time. And typical Guju menu is masala, chai, and bhajia, pakoda. And out of a love, a typical wife will cook batata vada, hot batata vada. The batata vada from outside may look cool, and you put it in the mouth, and that situation when you find it hot, you cannot chew, nor you can gulp, and out of attitude you cannot bring it. That is so discomforting. However delicious it may be, it is so painful. The fellow goes on. That is a pursuit of happiness. You may have Mercedes, you may have a farmhouse, you may have a land, everything. You can't enjoy. That is insecurity and unhappiness. It is like that. Boggling. Now, the third Purushartha is Dharma, which is in a way you can interpret Purushartha is Arthakama, but hereafter. Therefore, all religious thing, whatever religion they talk about, they promise very pleasant heaven. They promise very secure heaven. You will have dinner, eternal dinner with the Lord, with eternity. You will go to Jannat for eternal time, then hooray will be there for you, waiting to gull and then welcome. In these days, you will have all this. And our Shastras also tell, Ehi ehi iti suvarchasaha yajamanam nayanti. There are mantras. But there is a very basic difference between what we talk and others talk. Anyway, there is a one purpose, that dharma. It takes you to Arthakama hereafter. But then there is few other aspect of dharma also, which as a Hindu we should know. Dharma doesn't mean just a religion. Belonging to a religious group may give security, may give some happiness, may make you comfortable. True, dharma can lead to some pleasure and security hereafter, but our meaning of dharma is very wide, not just a belief. Dharma means expected contributory deeds, what we call it as duty. That itself is a purushartha. People who grow up in this culture not understanding, not having clarity what is the end that I get out of duty. Even they may not know that I go to heaven out of duty. But a Hindu child in a typical traditional family will know, if I don't follow dharma, I will get paid. जैसे नरक में जाओगे, माँ बाप की सेवा नहीं करोगे तो, they say, if you hit your, I remember we were told, yeah, there's children, you fight with the sisters and brothers. They used to say, if you hit your sister with this hand, thorns will grow in your hand. So doing improper thing will give me pain. That's what the Hindu knows. And they know I have to do this. That we discover later. Doing this, I will go to heaven. But that by the time this is so indoctrinated, so conditioned that I have to do, this is my duty. I should take care of my siblings, younger siblings. I should take care of my parents. I should do this, should not do this. And when you err a little bit here and there is a hurt, there is a guilt. So for a Hindu, dharma itself is a purusharth in a hand, not a means. For other reason, it's a means to go to some hereafter place, which is promised, which is a belief. Whereas for us, it is a purushartha by itself. Whether I go there or not, I take upon myself, for whatever reason, out of understanding or out of emotions or out of indoctrination or what, out of education, whatever. I have to do this. And I cannot do this. That is another prayojana. Dharma is a purushartha. The third thing which dharma can give, when person lives a life of commitment to dharma, it leads to psychological maturation. It leads to a person who is together. It leads to a person who is relatively free from conflicts, relatively free from guilt. That is, the psychological togetherness is a phalam of dharma. It can give relative security also. It can give relative pleasure also, but not nitya. So that ultimately, I want freedom from artha kama dharma. None of them can provide me this freedom for good. It provides me for some time, not permanent. My innate search, my basic urge never comes to end. There is no full stop. There are only commas and semicolons. It continues. That purushartha clarity is called vivek. Please understand. Though it is mentioned nitya nitya vastu viveka, nityam vastu ekam brahma. Vastu means reality. Vastu can mean an object. But that is a viveka to be done to remove, that viveka will remove the self-ignorance. That's the second stage. The primary discrimination is, I am clear what is it that I want. You know, it is like typical mother, when the child, a 3-year-old or 5-year-old baby, does tantrums and cries and gets irritated and all that, and says, I want this toy. And then suddenly it throws away, I want other one. Then suddenly I want to drink milk and etc. And the poor father provide him so that the baby is quiet. And the mother will tell, don't worry, let him be. Baby feels sleepy. He doesn't want this toy or that toy. He doesn't want to drink or eat. It is tired. I'll put him to bed, him or her, she'll be all right. She has a clarity as to what baby needs. Baby, unfortunately, don't have clarity what I want. An absence of clarity, even with mustache and beard or gray hair and beard, people are babies. Na samparaya pratibhati bal. Yamaraja calls it. Clarity that moksha is the goal, freedom is the goal, that is Vivek. And then comes Vairagya. It needs to be understood. Only one thing I will tell and leave the class. Vairagya is not an action, Vairagya is an understanding. Vairagya is not a lifestyle, it is appreciation of certain facts. To be factual is the space. Vairagya is not running away. Vairagya is growing out of it. Vairagya is not a life of despair and stress. No, 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 pulling. Vairagya is relaxation. Vairagya itself is relative freedom. How I will unfold this in next class. As of now, I conclude and again wish you Shri and Narayana. May you be happy, may you be relaxed, may you be with yourself, may you be at home, even in America, even in a rental home. If it is mortgage home, may you be at home with yourself. Namaste. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Namaha Hari Om